Hello, 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 hello. Is it me?
So the time has finally come for you to either buy a bike or sell yours. If you haven't noticed yet, the price of a bike is the hardest thing to figure out besides how to crack mega dank nooners without binning your bike. For real. Motorcycle prices are all over the place, just like your stepmom driving back from a Christmas party. Two nearly identical bikes of the same make, year, model, and mileage will be sold for two very different prices. And hell, you might have even seen some crazy prices on our It Came From Craigslist episodes because guess what? Everyone thinks they know what they got, but in reality, few people actually do. Or at least they're just pretending to have more because it makes them feel better. In today's video, I'm going to break down how you can price out a motorcycle so you can get a fair deal or sell yours at a competitive price. Before we get started though, time is literally running out for a beginner bike giveaway. On October 17th, 2 lucky people will be getting an email from me letting them know that they've won our giveaway. If you don't know, I have a brand new Yamaha R3 and Suzuki SV650 ready to be given away, and all you need to do is either sign up on Patreon to support us or grab some merch and get entered to win. For limited time, if you use the code DOUBLE2019, you'll get 10% off your order and twice as many tickets to win. Remember, every dollar you spend gets you entries to win, but keep in mind you can always enter for free. Just check out our Patreon page to learn how to do that. But seriously, time is running out. The sweepstakes will officially end on October 17th at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. So don't miss out on your chance to get entered to win. Remember, code DOUBLE2019 at checkout on our merch page below gets you 10% off and double entries. Now, let's jump into this video. Step Number 1, upper and lower values. Before you go blindly running into a deal with cash in hand, you need to know if the bike you're looking at is priced fair. The best way to figure out the upper and lower values is to search the internet for the same bike, just in different years. We'll use a Suzuki GSX-R 600 for example. Brand spanking new at the dealership with one clean little mile on the odometer, the bike has an MSRP of $11,399. Now go and search on CycleTrader or other websites for the cheapest new bike. We found a 2018 Suzuki GSX-R left over from last year for only $7,999. This is your upper value. Why would you pay over $8,000 for a used bike knowing you could get a new one for that much? Starting to make sense now? Now we need to figure out your lower value. This is going to be a bit trickier, but we're going to use $2,500 because we have a common trend we found on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. If you have a GSX-R 600 with 30,000 miles on it in decent shape, you can probably get $2,500 cash for it. Whether it's a 2004, 2009, or 2016 model, its bottom dollar value is going to be $2,500 if it runs, has a clean title, and looks okay. In most cases, if a bike actually runs well, they tend to plateau around that $2,000 mark. It seems that the baseline value of any motorcycle kind of fluctuates right at that $2,000 mark. A decent bike will most likely cost at the very minimum this amount, although that's not to say you can't find a good bike for less than that. I mean, we did buy an absolute nugget of a $1,500 Honda Hornet on this channel, and I suffered for 4 months with it. Life is pain. Never forget that, my sweet squids. Step number 2, things that alter the price. In the automotive world, it's really easy to figure out the price of a car. Anything over 100,000 miles is considered high mileage. The more recent the year, the more it's worth, and the more accessories from the factory, the more it holds its value. A used rental car for sale is something to stay away from. Motorcycles are completely different. What is considered high mileage? What accessories add value? What lowers the value of a bike? High mileage on a motorcycle is going to depend on your area, but in my opinion, it's anything over 30,000 miles. If the bike has been geared, then the odometer most likely reads incorrectly, as well as the speedometer as well. Most accessories don't add value, but there's some that are good to have. Frame sliders, a phone mount, saddlebags, or other commonly accepted accessories would be good add-ins, but they shouldn't raise the price of a bike by more than $500. The value of a bike is lowered with mods like deleted mirrors, gear changes, causing a true mileage unknown condition, and then of course stretching and lowering the bike. Sure, the stretched and lowered 600s will find the right buyer, but it's not worth $3,000 more than an unmolested 600 of the same year and mileage. With a fairing kit, it's an obvious telltale that the bike has been dropped or laid down. There's no denying it. No one buys a $500 fairing kit just to say, bro, look at my new colors. Fairings don't make your bike faster, and they're normally only changed because of a low side, really bad parking lot dump, or for race only purposes. New riders shouldn't be jumping onto the stretched, lowered, illegally modded, or former race or stunt bikes to begin with. Step number 3, finding the balance. You know the highest and lowest prices that you should be paying for the bike, so what about the one you want? The balance comes between mileage, modifications, and condition. The average price is the price that people are paying for these bikes. Don't be discouraged by listings online of the bike you want at $6,000. If it's a private seller, they'll have to lower the price and sell it. Watch these listings and you'll see them week after week. The fair priced bikes will have already been sold. If you're outside of the riding season, March to October, then prices should be lowered in colder areas. Find the specific generation you're interested in and then start looking for specific bikes. Bone stock yields the highest prices. Get used to a bike in factory form so you can change things as you go along. A bike with aftermarket levers, rear sets, and one with different suspensions will be harder to learn on. Stay factory and get the parts as you learn. Step 4. Honesty counts, but no one cares. If you wash and wax your bike before every ride, lube your chain every 100 miles, and do all sorts of stuff like a full synthetic oil change every 1,000 miles, you've kind of wasted your money and shouldn't expect more when you sell your bike. Don't pay more for a bike that's been pampered. Has that ever been ridden? Honesty counts. It's good to disclose the life of your bike to any potential buyer as a seller, and as a buyer, it's good to know how pampered or abused the bike was. OCD levels of maintenance don't make up for a $3,000 difference in price and doesn't bridge a 10-year age gap. An old bike is an old bike and it doesn't command the price of a new bike, period. Its value has decreased. Yes, it can sell for a little bit more than others in the market, but the condition must reflect its maintenance schedule. Oil changes are not a bike with broken fairings is selling for less than one with complete fairings. Step 5. Negotiating, which is my favorite step. You need to use your judgment on the price of a bike. Let common sense kick in. Say you find a 2007 GSX-R 600 for sale. It has 20,000 miles, factory fairings, and is in great shape. The seller wants the KBB of $5,200. What is it worth? For $2,800 more, you can have a brand new bike, one that is 11 years newer than this used one. Think about it. It might be outside your budget, but that's close to considering how some cars are $10,000 parts in value. What else can you find for $5,200? Even if it's outside your budget, look at all the newer bikes with less mileage and even older bikes with very low mileage for the same price. After comparing this bike with others, you'll realize that the seller's asking too much. Even a mint condition used bike that's never been ridden will need at least a couple $100s just to keep it running like new. Negotiate prices accordingly if you're buying. Don't hit the seller with an immediate lowball offer and then give up. Have your research completed and know the value of the bike before you put offers in. If you're selling, the hassle of getting regular maintenance complete, even a tune-up, goes a long way in helping with the sale. $20 in spark plugs might get someone convinced to buy your bike. Not everyone can do their own work on their bikes, and it goes the extra step. Step number 6, this is it. You just found your bike. It's the exact year, low mileage model you've been looking for. Upon an in-person inspection, it's absolutely mint. The owner tells a story about being too busy on deployments in the military or how a surgery or medical problem has prevented them from riding anymore. It's just been sitting and now it's time for it to go. What's it worth to you? Anyone with a bike that's desirable has already turned down lowball offers. If their asking price is indeed high or close to KBB, then you need to consider what a bike in such great condition is worth to you. Do you really want to be on an older generation with 10,000 more miles for $500 cheaper? Do you want to spend an extra $500 to be on the newer generation that doesn't look as good to you? Shipping is another factor to consider when it comes to buying a bike. Some people will purchase a bike sight unseen and hope for the best. It's absurd to drive 12 hours to a dealership, look at a bike, and not buy it. Make sure you're going after exactly what you want if you're hauling it yourself. Pay a professional company for those really long drives, 2 days or more. The choice is ultimately yours, but in the end, there is a premium price for finding exactly what you want and what you should be willing to pay for it. If you're selling a bike, know what you have based on the market you live in and understand if your bike is a rarity because of its condition or low mileage, and don't accept lowball offers. Find a buyer that sees eye to eye with your value and you'll have it sold in no time. Side note, dealerships for the desperate. When you consider the prices of motorcycles at a dealership, everything we've talked about goes down the drain. They'll list anything at any price, regardless of modifications or mileage. If you're desperate for a motorcycle, you can probably be financed at 22% and be able to ride away on your lightly used R6 with only 32,000 miles on it. If you're not buying factory brand new, a lot of dealerships can lead to bad deals and high prices. Their reasoning is that they're financing you when you don't have cash outright for a motorcycle. Maybe you should consider why you're willing to buy a $2,500 motorcycle at a dealership for twice what it's worth. I sincerely hope this video helps some of you out there from not having a bike to actually pulling the trigger and buying one. When I first got into bikes, the prices were always inconsistent and all over the place. It took me a while to nail down the values of bikes and why they're selling for what they are. Did I miss something? Do you think this video will help you? Let me know in the comment section below. I always love hearing from you guys. And of course, don't forget our giveaway. You only have until October 17th to get entered to win. So make sure that you are signed up by either getting merch through Patreon or simply sending a letter in completely for free. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. Fact: Sudan actually has more pyramids than Egypt. While Egypt has between 118 and 138 depending on the account, Sudan has nearly twice as many, in the range of 200 to 255. The pyramids there serve the same purpose as the ones in Egypt. They are the final resting places of numerous members of royalty. Goodbye.